peace across the earth. Honor for you to be here with us this evening.
And next I'd like to introduce you to our Deputy Governor, His Excellency Dr. Damian Ramesar. Dr. Damian.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity. It is my honor to continue to share on this platform with my very good friends, Dr. Kalloo and Dr. Mothe. And it's great to meet all of you. And we know you will enjoy the training. The value that's going to be added is going to be absolutely tremendous.
Thank you, Dr. Damian. So I am located in Florida. Bishop Lamont and Dr. Damian is located in Trinidad and Tobago. We have several different arms of who we really are. I personally have been in this global peace space for more than 4 decades of my life, dedicated towards humanitarian and helping people. We are 100% biblically based. We believe in doing right, being the example. We believe in servant leadership. We believe in serving and building people. So just as we go along, you'll get to learn a lot more about who we are, what we do, how we operate. We do appreciate you taking the time to be with us, to join with us, and to invest in yourselves. And we will do our utmost best to help you to fulfill your purpose, your goals, your destiny as best we can. Our intent is to help to build every one of us. So the intent is not to create mini-me's. It's not to build my kingdom or somebody else's kingdom, but to help us to grow and to help us to realize our full potential of who we were designed to be into that. All right, so this is the time when I would shut off the ability for people to unmute themselves just for the purpose of not creating distractions. All right, so if anyone has their mics on, please just mute them for now. And at the very end, we will be open to have discussions and allow you to share your hearts and get involved. All right, so today we are going to talk about becoming peace ambassadors. We have lots of content that we would like to share. In the meantime, just to get that, Annalise, can you take just 2 minutes and just share real quick about the team and those that has come on with us? You can unmute.
Okay. All right, there we go. Hi, everyone. Good evening. I'm Annalise, and it's an honor to be here. I met one of the peace ambassadors back in July from Nations United from Peace, and it's just been a really amazing journey thus far, learning more about the organization and what they're really about, and I'm just so excited to share with all of you their knowledge, and I've already witnessed to them how they truly want to pour into people to help build them up, make them the best version of themselves, and do that with truth and integrity. So I'm very much looking forward to sharing this with everybody on the call.
And Annalise, on the class on the Thursday, maybe just take a couple seconds and let's let them know about the class and your experience on that class.
Yeah, the class was amazing, and it was really talking about active listening. And as you're meeting people, becoming a peace ambassador and learning about people and working with different people from all over the world, they gave some really great tips on how to remember people's names, how to be active listeners, how to ask engaging questions and get to know these people. So it was a really great class, and I definitely encourage you to all, attend this Thursday and bring others with you that want to learn as well.
Awesome. Thank you, Annalise. All right. At this time, I'm going to ask Bishop to share his screen, and we're going to get started on our training for tonight. So thank you very much. Bishop. Unmute your mic, Bishop.
Couldn't get in there. Thank you. Good night, everyone. And are you seeing my screen, Excellency?
Yes.
Good.
See if you can put it on full screen there, Bishop.
Getting a little help here.
All right, Dr. Damian, do you want to throw it up on your computer instead?
Yes, not a problem.
All right, Bishop, just exit out yours.
Okay, thank you.
There you go.
All right.
You start at screen one.
Yeah.
All
Thank
right.
you.
So today we're going to talk about 10 principles of becoming a peace ambassador. We are Nations United for Peace. We are a sovereign intergovernmental organization. We believe in people. We have many different arms of IGOs and NGOs. We are part of the World Leaders Forum and the Academy of Universal Global Peace USA, which is the chairman, Dr. Madhu Krishan. I am the chief governor, and I'm also the executive director for the World Leaders Forum, which is the United Nations leading specialized agency. We are humanitarian based, and everything we basically do is towards helping to build people. We are currently located in Florida as our base, in South Florida. And we're gonna, as we go on, we'll talk about the different arms and our intentions. We will share our vision, our mission, our purpose, and our constitution. We will share all of that with you. Next. All right, Bishop.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Good evening, everyone. Introduction to Peace Ambassadorship. What is a peace ambassador? A peace ambassador is someone who actively promotes peace, understanding, and cooperation among individuals, communities, and nations. They embody the core values of diplomacy, conflict resolution, justice, and empathy. Peace ambassadors work tirelessly to bridge divides and create an environment conducive to lasting peace. This is an introduction to what is a peace ambassador. Principle number one, peace ambassador, we lead by example. Peace begins with the individual, as was said by that great man, Mahatma Gandhi. Point two, demonstrating peaceful behavior in your personal life creates a ripple effect that influences others. I think part of becoming a peace ambassador, you first must experience and know that peace within yourself before you can become a peace ambassador and bridge a gap for others. Third point, practice empathy, patience, and active listening in your daily interactions. Fourth point, lead with integrity, honesty, and transparency. And that is not only before someone, but even when someone don't see you, you lead with integrity, honesty, and transparency.
So talking about, for the first principle, leading by example, I'm pretty sure many of us have heard about others using the term, do as I say, but not as I do. Nations United, we do not believe in that. We believe in servant leadership. Even if we carry very high level titles and positions, none of that is more important than serving people. We teach heavily on servant leadership. We believe in serving people. We believe in assisting others who needs assistance. The goal here is not let's do something for someone else, expecting something in return. The gist of all of this is to really help someone that is in need. We're not looking for anything in return. We're not looking for donations. You scratch my back, I scratch your back. For us, it doesn't work like that. Becoming a peace ambassador, becoming an ambassador, what does all of that really mean, though? To kind of break that down, it means, to break it down in very simple layman's term, as an ambassador is someone who represents a country, a nation, a monarchy. It's someone that represents an authority. And from the perspective where we are, although we are intergovernmental organization, the gist of who we are, number one, we represent God. So in everything that we do, it's God first. Everything that we do, it's God first. We also believe that the greatest asset available to us on the planet is not gold, it's not silver, it's not fiat currency, it's not US dollars, it's not euros, it is people. So we are bent on serving people. Our mission, our goal is all human based, so that we put our energies, our efforts, our finances, who we are, behind building people. So in this current atmosphere, I know when you look around, you see others, a lot of people would be doing things where they can benefit monetarily. Yes, we all need finance to do things. But if we want this world to be a better place, we better start thinking about how we can make a difference. What can I do? You meet someone for the first time. You want to lead by example? Hello. So it depends on our response, our communication, the way that we address people. And I promise you, it will not kill you to say hello to someone else. Or good morning. Put a smile on your face. And when you say good morning, actually put a little energies into it, maybe a little smile. It means a lot. As people builders, what we do is encourage people. My background is heavy in highway building, structures, high-rise buildings, stadiums, and all of that. And I've learned that the same principles that it takes, that is used towards building and erecting structures, it's basically the same principles that it takes to build people. Believe in what you do. You do it with a passion. You put energies into it. It will cost you. Understanding that it will cost you, you move forward understanding that in order to have a strong house, you got to have a strong foundation. So you're meeting people for the first time, or you're running an organization, make sure that the structure is sound. If it's all shaky and moving, you stop, fix it, move on to the next phase. Next slide, Bishop.
Dr. Damian, next slide.
So principle number 2, promoting dialogue. Engage in conversations that foster mutual understanding and respect. You know when speaking with someone that you don't have to become a rocket scientist to figure out if that person is showing you respect or not. Deep within, you already know if that person respects you or not. So as we engage in conversation, we want to foster mutual understanding and respect. It will take something from us. Even if the person is not showing you respect, what are we supposed to do to make a difference? It begins with me, and you have to say that within your own self. It's going to start with who I am, me. how I interact. What do I do? Let me respect that person anyhow. And maybe if that person do not have respect, they might learn from me by my mannerism and the way that I approach them and the way that I respect them. And they may just, that might become so contaminating. They may want to just return the favor. You want love? Give love. You want a smile? Maybe put one on your face. You want that person to say hello to you? Well, why don't you walk up first and put your hand out and look that person in the eye and say, hello, welcome. I am Mr. X, Mrs. X, and what is your name? Welcome to this place, whatever it is. How can I help you to make you more comfortable? Can I get you a glass of water? Can I take your jacket? Be the first. Create spaces where diverse voices are heard and differing opinions can be expressed constructively. Not everybody is going to believe what you believe. Not everybody is going to share your values and your ideologies. Not everybody is going to agree with you. In fact, you've got to go with the understanding that you're going to meet these challenges head on. And you're not going to get everybody to agree with you. So you have to predetermine, how am I going to respond to that? Am I going to love them anyways? Am I going to just say, you know what, I don't have the energies. I just can't deal with this. I believe everybody that's on this class tonight signed up and said, I want to become a peace ambassador, a mediator, an ambassador. I'm representing somebody, something of value. And I want to be the mediator, the person that can make a difference and build a bridge. Basically, that's what you're saying. Practice active listening and ask open-ended questions to promote meaningful exchange. Well, person might say, you know what? I don't like your hair. And your response would be, I don't like yours neither. Well, your eyes are blue, mine's are brown. I really don't like people with blue eyes. We can respond in any which way we choose. But we need to be cognizant of the fact that what is the outcome? What kind of an outcome do we want? If you lift yourself up, you're going to be thrown down. But if you humble yourself, you will be lifted up. It's a biblical thing, right? Dialogue is the art of listening and speaking with the aim of finding common ground. It's easy to build relationship when you have common ground, when you share a level of commonality. So I like the color blue and you like the color blue. And maybe we may not have anything else in common, but we have the color blue in common. So let's start there, right? The sky is blue. I'm wearing a blue jacket because we have something in common. What about when we come up against individuals that does not share your commonality and has nothing in common with you? They don't like the way you dress. They don't like the way you comb your hair. It's the opposite. What do? Just walk away and say, you know what, this ain't gonna work. You believe in the East, I believe in the West. We're so far apart, forget about it. But we gotta find ways to build. There gotta be some sort of commonality. And if we don't have that among ourselves, we need to find someone that does and that can relate, or something that does and can relate, so we could foster mutual understanding and respect. So Dr. Damian, I'd like you to just touch on the fostering mutual understanding and respect based on, your international travels and teaching on disaster management and disaster preparedness and that type of stuff.
Definitely. So it's something that you have to want to do, first of all, especially when you're going to different cultures. You expect differences, first of all, and then you have to train your mind to embrace the differences, right? So you're expecting the differences and you want to see the differences. You want to amaze yourself by getting along with people from different backgrounds, different cultures, different languages, different belief systems. And it's a determination to have absolutely no prejudice in your mind, in your heart, when meeting people who are not from your family, not from your neighborhood, not from your country even. All right. So it's an active process that you have to teach yourself, you know. And then when I just started up in international travel, everybody was excited for me and they said, oh, you're going to a different country, you're going to meet these people, and they do this and they do that. And there were some people who were excited about it for me, some people who couldn't get over their beefs or just chose to have a mindset that they're different, thus they're inferior. While they didn't explicitly state it, the tone in which they spoke about it, you know. But I had to personally choose, not to have any angst in myself and to go out there with a learning attitude, a learning mindset, and embrace the differences. Because there was so much with that attitude, so much that I learned. It's just phenomenal. It's just been astounding. I've been traveling for work since 1997. All right, so coming up soon on 30 years odd. But before I started working in the sugar factories, sugar fields. So I've come from the grassroots all the way up. And the constant opportunities, I call them, to meet other people, other cultures. All right, that curiosity for me and that expectation has helped a lot. I have met a lot of prejudiced people, whether it was class prejudice or racist prejudice, or just people who just simply chose to be different and difficult. And I've had to teach myself how to adapt, how to be gracious. So the opportunity that you're having in this forum speaks volumes. A lot of people who had the opportunity to travel had to learn the hard way. And in so learning, there would have been missed opportunities to make friends, lifelong lasting friends.
Next
The
slide.
opportunities that I did have, you know, I'm really thankful to God that I have those people in my life. So I've only been to 71 countries so far and counting, but in every country, including Haiti, I met somebody where I had a friend.
Thank you, Dr. Damian. Can we go to the next slide, please?
Bishop, go ahead.
Principle number 3, foster compassion and empathy. Seek to understand others' emotions, experiences, and perspectives, especially in times of conflict. Cultivate an attitude of kindness and compassion towards all, regardless of background or belief. Empathy is the foundation for building peace, says Dalai Lama. Understand that every person's pain and story matters. And this is something very important as we see as peace ambassadors. We want to seek to understand others, their emotion, their experiences. It's different. We are living in a world that is torn by war. And sometimes one of the safest guard, you know, when we drop our guard in laughter, it brings an expression that it causes others to trust. And so it is important that we have an attitude of kindness and compassion. And sometimes even in our religious belief, it can bring a wedge so that we are not able to reach the person. Our heart must always be to reach the person, put ourselves in that person's shoes, their pain, what they're experiencing. And so it may not only be at the nation's level. Empathy is shown in families, it's shown in communities, and it's shown in churches. So we want to be able to be someone that is able to build peace, and to do that, it takes time, and it's important that I think what causes us to stand out in a distinguishing manner as a peace ambassador is that person's pain and that person's story becomes our pain and our story. Your Excellency.
Now, before we go to the other slide, I just want to bring one thought here. So the second point says to cultivate an attitude, right? Listen, we all have attitudes. Everybody's got an attitude. We got good attitudes, bad attitudes, broken attitudes, and it's about one thing or the other. But in order to create or cultivate an attitude of kindness and compassion, it's going to take work. It will cost us something. It requires change. We are constantly changing. Every second of our lives, we are changing. John Maxwell says there is nothing that is as permanent as change. It's coming. It's coming. Everything we do, every moment of our lives, we're experiencing change, like it or not, whether we are aware of it or not. But if in this journey to become a facilitator of peace, to become an ambassador, where we can facilitate helping people with our resources, our opportunities, our finances, our communication, our presence, just being there and being willing to step up and say, how can I help? I'm here to help you. What can I do to help you to be better? How can I make your situation better? The question should not be first, how much money do you have? Can you afford my services? Basically, what we're saying by signing up to become a peace ambassador is to say, my services is yours. You remember that Spanish word, that phrase that they say, mi casa es su casa, my house is your house. Well, my services are yours. There's no price tag to it. You don't have to give me your firstborn. You don't have to cut your wrist and shed some blood for me. I'm willing to help you. I don't want to know how much you have. I don't care about how much you have. I don't care about your wealth or any of that. You are in need. How can I facilitate that? Next slide, please, Dr. Damian. Principle 4, advocate for justice. There are so many injustices in the world today. And, I'm not exactly a spring chicken anymore, but I'm up there. I'm close to that big 6, not quite there yet, but I will tell you from the day and the age and the time that I came from, the neighbors were like family. You can literally walk down the street and you needed something, the neighbor would see you and offer you some water and some food. And if you misbehave, you get a couple slap, a belt, whatever. You go home and you tell your parents, the neighbor put a good whipping on me. And then your parents would say, come here. You must have done something to deserve it. So take a few more. That's when that's the time I came from. And the values were different versus today's justice. Justice don't seem like justice anymore because it's far and wide. True peace cannot exist without justice. How do we explain justice in a very broken down fashion where it rubber meets the road? I call it doing the right thing. Doing what's right. Not in my eyes. Every man is right in his own eyes and wants to say, well, what I did was right. No. What I did was right. And the other person is going to say, no. You guys are wrong. What I did was right. So there must be a measuring rod. There must be something that we all measure ourselves by. What is that thing? If we all believe in God and believe that God is righteous, God is just, and God is truth, we gotta have a standard that works for all of us. So it's not my way, your way, his way, her way, or somebody's way, or my ideologies or your ideologies, and I'm right and you're wrong. And there's the black and white, and we gotta have a standard. Nations United was founded based on biblical principles to do what is right. Stand up for human rights, equality, and fairness. I love the word fairness. Why? When you treat people fairly, they'll love you, they'll serve you for life. Everyone wants to be treated fairly, both locally and globally. Work towards dismantling structures of oppression, discrimination, and inequality. If something is wrong and it's not working, don't continue or allow the mess to continue. Stop. If it needs breaking down, break it down. If it does not work, stop, fix it, start afresh. But if the foundation of that and structure of the organization, of the group, or whatever that might be, if it's out of course, if it's not right, it'll never be right because the foundation is wrong. It must be built upon the ideology of what is right, fair, equal, justice. Not my justice, your justice. So if something goes wrong, everybody wants revenge. Revenge is not justice. Justice is doing it the God way. That's how I would call it. Not my way or your way, because my way, I could be seeing my way as being right and the only possible way, and I could be totally wrong. And so can you and everybody else. But if we follow the one thing that we know that is, there is no possible way of that being wrong, then we all will end up right. Justice is not only about retribution, but also about healing and reconciliation. And when we talk about healing and reconciliation, that's where our home is. This is all about healing.
That's quite true, Excellency. Permit me just to add to what you're saying there. As we commit to nonviolence, injustice, I think being a peace ambassador, it allows us to become our absolute best. Because the whole purpose of becoming our absolute best is that the idea behind the peace ambassador to bring justice is to see, to tear the walls down, to remove the walls of separation, because that is something admirable. That is something that is pleasurable. That is something that is rewarding. When you walk away and you can see enemies become friends, and nations could come again on the streets and laugh and play, and children play, it brings a sense of pleasure and satisfaction. And to me, that's the great part of a peace ambassador, bringing justice and empathy and equity to nations and families. Thank you, Excellency. You can continue.
Go ahead on Principle 5, Bishop.
Principle number 5, commit to nonviolence. Adhere to the principle of nonviolence in every situation, whether personal or global. Nonviolence means not just avoiding physical harm, but also referring from verbal abuse, emotional manipulation, or coercion. Mahatma Gandhi said, nonviolence is the greatest force at the disposal of mankind. And we have to be, as one who is desiring to become a peace ambassador, one of the things that we have to remove from our hearts and our mind is the idea of hate. It is so easy sometimes to be offended by things that people do, the injustice that we see over the years. And I'm a pastor, I've been a pastor for a number of years, and you sit with people and you can hear the pain and the hurt sometimes with parents and with marriages, and sometimes the violence may not be physical, but the words that is said. And speaking with a couple, and the wife is pouring her heart out, but the husband, his eyes is all over the ceiling, and and he's showing disgust that and all those things are emotional and abuse that contributes to violence. And so it is important as a peace ambassador that when we stand and sit with people, we as individuals do not take side. We must always be neutral, because our aim is to be the bridge and bring parties together. So we must be committed to nonviolence in any form.
Next slide.
Excellency. Cultivate,
Go ahead.
cultivate patience. Thank you. Peace building is a long-term effect. And let me just put this, and this is just a little humor here. Like I tell a couple who was going to get married, I says, one of the fruit of the spirit is long suffering. I says, when you get married, you got to be able to suffer long until death do you part. So peace building is a long-term commitment. Expect setbacks and remain steadfast in your mission. There must be focus. You must be able to have a vision in order to fulfill your mission. If you don't, you will be stranded. You will be drifting here and there. You would give up easily. So there must be a long-term commitment, and you must prepare for setbacks. And even in the midst of setbacks, you're not easily moved, because you are working with a map, you're working with a vision. Understand that real change takes time, and be patient with both yourselves and others. Individually, we are still being changed. Every one of us, whatever our age is, we are still being changed. We are still learning to adapt to change, and change. The only thing that is constant is change. And so when we change, we are not just changing for ourselves, but we are changing for those around us and those that we're going to come in contact with. Change is not just for ourselves, but it begins with us. As Albert Einstein says, patience is the key to peace. You cannot be hurried. This is not a 100-meter Usain Bolt race. This is a marathon. And you got to be able to run, know the speed, know everything, have the stamina, have the endurance to run, to build, and to cultivate peace. A peaceful world requires perseverance and resilience. And those two things must be embedded in the peace ambassador before he can even think about, how am I going to start building peace and bringing peace to anyone that is in the world? Your Excellency.
Next slide, Dr. Damian. Embrace diversity. Acknowledge and celebrate the beauty of cultural, religious, ideological differences. Promote inclusivity in every aspect of your work, recognizing that diversity strengthens societies. In diversity, there is beauty and strength. Maya Angelou. Foster environments where people from all backgrounds feel valued and heard. Valued and heard. So when we talk about embracing diversity, the world, the society that we live in today, we, in our space, in our world, there's gender is male and female, and there's a compliment. When a man sees a woman, he compliments that because she's different, but she expresses something different from who he is. So the man finds that attractive, and the woman finds the same that's opposite to her, whereas the man is not like her, but it's opposite. But there is it's embracing that diversity that has caused us to be alive today. and the generations come and the generations go. But we have to learn how to embrace people that has different values, different religious and ethical background, and understanding their cultures are very different. They may not dress like us, walk like us, talk like us. The color of their skin might be different, but we need to learn how to embrace that if we are to make a change. Next slide, Dr. Damian. Empowering others. Dr. Damian, you want to take this slide?
Sure. So peace is not the responsibility of any one person, but a community and nations. I'm just one, you're one, you and your spouse are two, but in the peace building process, we want everybody to learn these skills by influence, by example, by the work that we put out as we improve ourselves and we work on our own skills. We have to be able to provide tools, education, and one of the fora is through these meetings and trainings, and mentorship. More than once, Dr. Kalloo has mentioned that it's going to cost you something. But somehow or other, when you give of yourself, when you pour out of yourself, God puts more back into you. All right? So you mentor others to become peace ambassadors themselves. If you are the calming influence, people around you will start calming down. If we empower especially the marginalized communities to have a voice in the decisions that affect their lives, that's one major positive change that we're doing. We want to make that ripple effect to spread peace. So, you know, if you threw one big rock into a pond, it would make ripples going all out to all the edges, to the furthest parts of a pond or a lake. By being the calming effect, we create a ripple effect. Everybody that we touch will calm down, and those that calm down from our touch will calm others. Now, I use the term calm down, but what I really mean is that as we exude peaceful behaviors and diplomacy, it is reflected by everybody else in our circles. Dr. Kiwi?
Thank you, Dr. Damian. So we teach heavily on empowering people, and in our style of leadership, we teach servant leadership. From where we stand, we believe in, as leaders, when you shine, we shine. We're not here to build ourselves and say, well, when you show up, you serve us. It's quite the opposite. When you show up, we serve you. Or when we show up, we serve you. The goal is to serve. As leaders, we know how to serve. We want to serve. We want you to shine so that when you shine, we shine. What does that mean? Invest in others. Empower others. How? By helping them to discover themselves, their abilities, sharpen the tool, be ready to act and to go beyond where you are. And that's our job, to help you to go beyond where you are today. So that's empowering by knowledge, by training, by sharpening your abilities to do better, to be better, to want more, to be able to advance and to grow. That's our mission. That's our goal, to assist you. Next slide, Dr. Damian. Principle 9, promote education for peace. And this is very important to us because this is majorly what we do. We believe in empowering, and in order to do so, it has to be done by training, education. Advocate for education and foster critical thinking, conflict resolution, and global citizenship. Peace education is not just about teaching how to avoid war, but how to cultivate peace in every situation. UN Peace Education Declaration. Provide resources and support to spread awareness about peace, processes, and diplomacy. So we have several universities that we have formed under Nations United and AUGP USA that we will be sharing quite a lot about our universities, what we do, and how we help to promote and build peace globally, and our involvement with different governments, world leaders, nations, indigenous nations, kings and queens, and organizations globally. Next slide, Dr. Damian. And principle 10, to be a global citizen. To me, it means really one thing. Nations United for Peace. We are all one, no matter what we say, what country we come from, the language we speak, how we dress. We all came from the same place. If we believe in God, we understand that. A peace ambassador must think globally while acting locally. Understand how your actions affect the world. Work toward global solidarity and the recognition of shared human dignity. I believe that wraps that up. The world is my country. The world is my country. Every person you come in contact with, you got to be able to say, you are my people. All mankind are my brethren, and to do good is my religion. Thomas Paine. Commit to addressing global issues such as climate change, poverty, and inequality that impact peace worldwide. Next slide, Dr. Damian. Case study. Successful peace ambassadors. Highlight notable figures such as Mandela, Yousafzai, Desmond Tutu, or Kofi Annan, and their peace-building effort. Examine how these leaders embody the principles of peace and diplomacy in their work. Next slide. The role of peace ambassadors. As a peace ambassador, you have the power to inspire change, build bridges, and foster an environment of understanding and respect. The 10 principles are a guide to navigate the complex landscapes of peace building. Peace is not just the absence of war, but the presence of justice, equality, and harmony. I would just take the word harmony there and put it in bold. Why? Because that's the goal. So for us to function in harmony as one. You are not just an ambassador for peace, you are a catalyst for global transformation. How can I say that different? It starts with me. Next slide, Dr. Damian. Call to action. How will you contribute to global peace? Reflect on how you can apply these principles in your personal and professional life. Join Nations United for Peace in initiatives, discussions, and projects that foster peaceful change. Remember, every action counts. Start small, think big, and act with a purpose. Act with a purpose. Thank you. Together we can create a world of peace. And that brings us to the end of today's session. And we're going to exit the slide, and we're going to have a couple of discussions at this time and open it up where we, I know we have 54, 55 people on. And the way we conduct our classes, we give as many as we can the opportunity to express your thoughts on how this relates to you and how you feel about that. And, just give the chance so people can express themselves. So right off the bat, I'm going to call on Steve Sanborn. Let me just open this up so we won't have to be allowing you, but you can come on. I think everyone can unmute themselves at this point, right?
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead, Steve.
First, I want to thank you, gentlemen, for what you're doing here. It was nice listening to all of you get a chance to speak, and I think the part that stuck out to me the most was the Thomas Paine quote. I love that. The world is my country, all of mankind are my brethren, and to do good is my religion. Love it. Looking forward to working with all of you in the future.
Well, we appreciate that. Steve, tell us about you. Where are you at? Where are you from?
Yep, I'm in Ohio in the United States and currently own a construction company, but I've got experience in law enforcement and corrections, and I was a Marine for 4 years and um, just in the middle of a transformational stage right now and learning how I can help the world.
Well, Steve, pleasure having you on. And I'm going to tell you my background is in heavy and highway. I've lived in New York for 20, 23 years. I've done most of the historical high rises that you see in New York. I've been involved in the World Trade Center, Time Warner, Bloomberg Building, the ferry terminal,
Nice.
you name it, been there, done that. Most of the bridges, the Verrazano, the Manhattan Bridge, Brooklyn Bridge, the Whitestone Bridge, most of the bridges, tunnels, subway, empty airport authority. I've been involved in New York. Stadiums, I did the roof at Barclays Arena.
Nice.
So when I talk about building people and the concept of building and that I speak that with a passion because that's my experience.
Right.
So thank you so much for being here, Steve, and we appreciate you.
Thank
And
you, sir.
you'll get to share further. Um,
And this is my lovely wife, Michelle.
Hello, Michelle. Pleasure. I hope that you are having fun.
Yes, thank you.
All right, great having you. I'm gonna ask Annalise to just come on for a second. Annalise,
Yes, I'm here.
all right, just share your thoughts, how it came across to you, and talk about, just do an introduction of yourself and what you do and where you're from.
Yes. Well, I love that, this is really striving towards setting the foundation for people learning how to self-govern themselves as that example for being peace in the world. And I think it's just a great reminder or a great lesson or great refresher for some, because we got people from all walks of life here. Currently, I'm in Michigan, and I currently help a lot of veterans and some human trafficking victims with quantum technology to feel better. It's been very, very rewarding doing that kind of humanitarian work, and that's something I'm looking forward to doing more of in the future.
Well, I appreciate you and for helping putting all of this together. I just want to recognize you, Annalise. Thank you so much. You've been an amazing resource in helping us out at Nations United, pulling all of this together for the training. With gratitude to you.
You couldn't do it without the people.
Yes, but we appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm gonna ask Justin Lamar Keller. Justin, can you come on? Say hello, tell us about yourself and how this is coming across to you so far.
Okay, so yeah, I'm in South Carolina, and so far I have enjoyed this, and I'm looking forward to it. Um, so looking forward to the training and changing the world, and so I have been involved in many different things throughout my life. I've owned a trucking company and um, I've done a lot of building and um, yeah, so pretty much anything with my dad was a general contractor, so um, and then let's see, yeah, pretty much now what I do, I guess, is I basically I tell people, if I pretty much help people with whatever they need, just various projects. And if I can't do it, I usually find somebody that can do it for them. So that's just a little bit about me. Um, so yeah, I'm excited to be here and broaden my horizon and helping more people.
Well, appreciate that. Thank you so much, Justin, for being with us. We appreciate your input. Thank you. I'm going to call on Robert Lattimore. I believe you and your wife are there.
Yes. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Yeah, but this is Pam. Pam and I actually go by Bobby. Yeah, we've been married 38 years. We live here in Alabama. And I guess background wise, I was accounting CPA with PricewaterhouseCoopers most of my career, or my entire career. Memphis, New York, Atlanta, New Delhi, India, Calcutta. So certainly got that's probably where I draw quite a bit of appreciation for some of this discussion. Not only was I a military brat, which I got to spend some time overseas and met a lot of different people from around the world. But another thing we've had a chance to do, what it reminded me of, so we were involved in an organization in Atlanta when we used to live there, that hosted international visitors. And I was on the board of that, not for profit, but it was a council for Georgia Council for International Visitors. We probably have hosted, I don't know, it's hard to say, 50 people, you would say, over many years at our home, at our dinner table. Pam's a wonderful at hospitality. But engaging in different cultures. I mean, most of them were probably from Africa. I would say Europe, some Asia. Most of the time in the Middle East. Yes, we were in the Middle East. I remember having three imams, if you would say, at my table.
Wow.
With a translator. Very, very interesting, challenging conversations. It was right after, I think, allegedly there was a new constitution in Afghanistan. And we were quite curious about, how religious freedoms might exist there. And of course, I had one of my church friends there. If I can tell this quick story, he asked and said, if I stood on a box in the town square and said Jesus is Lord, what would happen? And the moms kind of talked to each other and stuff. And he says, it was translated as, it wouldn't go well for you. So point is that it hadn't quite wasn't type of the Constitution we had anticipated it might be in terms of having full religious freedoms. But no, we've so this evening, if you would say, just kind of reminding me of that and all those experiences hosting those conversations, and getting to know people, kind of vicariously traveling, if you would say, through their eyes. We would have probably 2 to 3 hours, we would say, with them, and as it was always a great experience. So,
we appreciate you sharing and looking forward to more. Just gonna share with you guys it really quick. So, I gave my life to the Lord when I was very young, and I submitted myself under my pastor for several years until I migrated to the United States and got involved in many things. I'm a musician. I play guitar, piano, been a worship leader.
wow.
I write my own music. I have a couple of books written. One of my books is on Amazon, The 42nd Generation, Sons of Jesus. I have over 50 books written.
Oh.
Most of them just waiting to be published. Similarly, I have written hundreds of songs. I just have not published, but everything have its time and place. But this is my agenda right now. I just got the course of being able to empower and pour into people is what drives me.
Mm-hmm.
So, when I was very young and I gave my life to Christ and decided to seek God's face, it gave me a sense of purpose. And that's to appreciate God first and then to appreciate people. And the pastor that I submitted to is Bishop Joseph Lamothe, who is with us here, who is now our chief governor. He's second in command to the organization to me. But I've known him most of my life because I was a youth a young guy when I got saved, and I've submitted to him, and we're best of friends. And you know, honor is a very rare thing these days. And Dr. Damian and I have been friends for almost 30 years now, and we've been doing this thing together. So it's for us, it's all about really building relationships.
Yeah.
Not about assets and money and valuables. It's about people.
Yeah.
So I've been a minister of the gospel. I've been all over the place and doing what God wants me to do. So I'm committed to that cause. Just so you know, I'm not here to talk religion and talk about. This is not going to become a church service, so you don't have to worry about that. But definitely, you don't want to get me started. That's. I'm going to ask Ryan Phillips. Just come on, tell us about yourself, where you are, how this is all relating to you. You just got to unmute, my brother.
All right, good night, everyone.
Right there.
Good night, Ryan.
It's indeed a pleasure to be here again. I like what I'm hearing. I've been introduced to this training through Bishop Joseph Lamothe, and I must say, without hesitation, based on what he would have discussed with me, you know, it falls right in line not only with my personal development, but as I move forward in ministry, you know, it gives me the ability to be able to be, you know, viable not only in my local circles, but to be viable at an international level. Even though I understand what it is to serve at that level, my background is in corrections. I'm a trainer of trainers, both at the regional and international level. I've served in the United Nations missions in South Sudan for several years, and in the capacity of leadership in that section. And you know, that would have given me a better view in terms of functioning in the service of peace as a peace agent, as a peacekeeper for the United Nations, you know, and working with persons who were vulnerable, working with other organizations within the United Nations as it relates to human rights and all of the other international agencies that would assist, even though my responsibility would have been for corrections. You know, it branched off into many different areas. In Barbados, I function as the president of the Congress of Trade Unions and Staff Associations of Barbados, and that is our National Trade Union Center. It is the umbrella body for all trade unions in Barbados. And, you know, and that in itself, you know, gives me the ability to reach more people in a way that sets out fairness, not only at a level in terms of country or national perspective, but I'm certain that in understanding peace, and all of you would understand peace, and therefore you would understand why I would have aspired to be in that position, because it touched many lives and it gives me the ability to negotiate and represent people all across the country, you know, which workers, and for each worker, it touches a home, you know. So where I sit, you know, it gives me the ability to touch many households, many individuals, many organizations, through teachers, through, you know, the whole sphere across Barbados and internationally as well.
Thank
You know,
you.
so yeah.
We're gonna have a lot more time to share on
Yes.
give others an opportunity. So we'll try to keep it around a minute. We have a couple more minutes. Christopher Calabrese.
Hey everybody.
Hello, Christopher.
Evening. Yeah, I'm liking what I'm hearing also. I'm feeling blessed to be a part of this. I've been going through a spiritual journey. I think like a lot of you in the last few years, as the world is evolving and changing. I'm finding new challenges, not only with my own character, but with how I want to affect the world and affect change. So it's quite a journey. And
Where are you located, Christopher?
sorry,
Where are you located?
right now I'm in Nevada, West Coast.
Yep. Awesome.
So
Well,
yes, feeling blessed to be here.
appreciate you being here. Looking forward to more interaction and having you to be part of the team. Kelly Ritzman.
Good evening.
Hi.
I'm up in Wisconsin. So it's quite cold here.
I could imagine.
This evening, it hit me in quite a practical way. I felt when you started from the perspective of embodying the calm, embodying the peace, I felt it, even though we're virtual, which is quite a blessing. In a practical way, I spent my day today talking with legislation in Washington, D.C., talking with lieutenant colonels and generals, working to have my voice heard as a veteran who was injured, and a process that was set up to be non-adversarial has felt adversarial. And so it was quite kind to listen to the 10 elements of peace tonight in a process that has not felt like that.
We appreciate you being here and looking forward to lots of interactions, and we would accommodate. The goal for us is really to help to empower every person and help you to become all that God intended for you, as much as within us as what we can do to help to facilitate that. That's the goal. We're not staking claims on anybody. We're not asking you to give up your firstborn. We're not asking you to commit to any special ideologies or causes. We believe in people. And I personally believe that everybody's got a call and was designed very unique by God for a purpose. And we want you to live in that purpose and be yourself. So thank you, Kelly. It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Karen Lynn. And I just, before Karen, before you say anything, I just want to let you know, we are about to start back up our women's empowerment program. We believe in that women can make a drastic change in the world just as men can. So I happen to just have known one of the greatest women that ever lived on the planet, and that was my mom. So hence, you can understand my cause. Go ahead, Kelly. Karen.
Well, good evening. I'm very honored to be a part of this group. I'm in Indiana, and it's been very cold, but it's warming up just a little bit, which is pretty nice. In 1 minute, I don't know what all I could tell you that would be impactful, but I'm excited about what feels like some of this coming full circle. I grew up in a family where there was a lot of international contact. My grandparents were both German immigrants, and we were very active in a community of German Americans growing up, and in doing so, we're involved in a lot of other international activities and that sort of thing. And in the last few years, passionately pursuing God for the truth, which is how I ended up here. And listening to the teaching tonight about peace, it struck me that while we aspire to do in the world what we're learning here, the first place we need to do it well is at home. And so many of us have lost or had difficult interactions with family members and friends over the last few years, just because things have been so controversial in the world, that to learn these skills is going to be really important in repairing and maybe rebuilding some of those bridges, which I know are meaningful to most of us, all of us, to have strong families and friendships. So I look forward to that very much.
Thank you, Karen. And I'll tell you, you're going ahead of us and start teaching about the other things that we're going to be teaching about. So we appreciate that. Our standards are, and our belief system is that if we want to become peace ambassadors, we don't start in Jerusalem, and we don't go to Africa and Asia and all the rest of the world. Start home. Becoming a peace ambassador starts in your house. Show how you can speak, be respectable to your wives and husbands and your children, and learning how to speak and foster peace in your own home. And then to the neighbor who just stole something from you or wouldn't talk to you, and that kind of stuff. This is where we start, right here. And then go within your own city and work within your own country, and don't try to be all this international famous superstar saving the world, and you can live at peace with your own family. And I'm sorry if I come off like very raw, but that, to me, that's very hypocritical. We just can say one thing and do the other, or ask people to do something and we ourselves ain't doing it. If we are going to be true, we got to first start to be true to ourselves. And we can fool everybody, most of the people, most of the time. But we know we can't fool ourselves, because we know what truth is, and certainly can't fool God. So thank you. Michael John.
Good evening. We spoke during the Thursday's training last week, and I'm the third person on here to say that I've worked in corrections for 30 years. Live in upstate New York on the Canadian border. And as like many here, it's very cold here as well. Also, recently I just sold 2 franchises in logistics, and was trained originally in architectural mechanical design. And throughout the whole scheme of my career, was always interested in bettering me and also bettering my people around me. And then when I had kids, I wanted to make sure that they came out better than me. And when things got strange here in the US, I knew there had to be something better. And then I met up with Bobby and Elise, and started learning that path. And we learned all together, actually, that there's a peaceful way to do that. And then when she started talking about this, it hit home.
Well, we're happy to have you, and thank you for sharing. Looking forward to further interactions. We're right about the end of our time right now, but I'm going to call on one more person, Ambassador Dr. Lenora Peters.
Good evening.
Greetings.
First of all, I wanted to thank you for this class tonight. I tell you, it really opened my eyes up on so many things that I can relate to due to all of my schooling and education that I've had as an ambassador and as a government official. And when it comes around the world, representing. And you opened my eyes on a lot of your teaching tonight. It reminded me of a lot that I have learned in the past. And the good thing about it, I know this is a class that I really like, because I'm trying to just bring in new accolades in my organization, which I see that we are all teaching similarity because it's about serving the world and serving all causes and all colors and greed. And I was just so content in how you and the bishop explained and broke down all details of training, very easy to understand. And I want to thank you and looking forward to it being a part of the next one and until, we complete all of the courses and so forth. But this is awesome. I love education.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much, Ambassador. I know I said one more, but Scott Crello, Scott's working very close with me right now, getting our website to where it's got to be. Scott, can you come on, say hello? Scott, are you there? All right. So we will give, as we go on in our classes, we try to give different persons opportunities to share your heart and, your thoughts. We just want to say thank you so much for joining with us and sharing your thoughts, your hearts, your families getting involved, and we appreciate you. Most of all, you investing in yourselves. We really do appreciate that and look forward to great things together. Dr. Damian, you just want to share your last thoughts and then we'll turn it over to Bishop, who's going to conclude.
All right. So welcome again, everyone. I was absent last week because I was ministering to a neighbor, but I'm going to try my best to be in all the other sessions. It's supposed to be 10 weeks. All right. And I'm glad to meet you all. And don't forget the networking power in fora like these. All right. So looking forward to hearing stories of you applying what we've taught.
Bishop, thank you, Dr. Damian.
Thank you, Dr. Damian. Thank you, Your Excellency, Dr. Kalloo. And it's really a great honor to serve together with Dr. Kalloo and Dr. Damian. Like he said, we go back way back since we were probably 14, 15 years young. I'm in my 60s, he in his 50s, so it tells you how long we have been together. And I'm really honored to serve with him and in this great organization called Nations United for Peace. But as I just sum up tonight, I think the call for peace has gone out. And it's like peace is saying, choose me, cultivate my ways, let feel the pleasure of love and laughter and service to others. And may that be a modus operandi. And we have used the term all the years we have been on this sessions. Our strength to you is that we love you. Our weakness to you is that we cannot stop loving you. On my behalf, Chief Governor of Nations United for Peace, I say good night from the beautiful island of Trinidad and Tobago, and God Almighty bless each and every one of you.
Good night, everyone. Thanks to you. And please feel free to join us on Thursday at 7 p.m. for our regular classes and back again on Tuesdays. So God bless you. Have a pleasant night wherever you are. God bless. Grace and peace to you. Thank you.
Bye now.